Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 106 of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. We're going to pick two random SoulsBorne bosses, and then they will excuse me. They will assist local law enforcement in catching speeding drivers, and whoever catches the most speeding drivers will be the winner. I say this because the police have been swarming my little town lately. So they've been in the area quite a lot. So I feel like they could use some help. And that's what I'm going to provide assistance for. There may be some issues with this. I don't know. We'll find out. I guess I'll just have to jump off that bridge when I come to it. But they asked for help, so I'm providing help. So it is what it is. When they ask me for help, this is what happens. So the battlefield has been cleared. It can house any and all SoulsBorne bosses, and it has housed all of them at least twice in SoulsBorne Battle Royals that we have held over the past several months, including SoulsBorne 100, which is a very special Battle Royal episode. You may want to go check that out. This little generator holds pretty close to 100 SoulsBorne bosses, including some special spots that can create some interesting scenarios. So we are going to stop this wheel. I'm going to shut my yap because apparently I can't talk anyway. And we are going to find out who the first participant is going to be on episode 106 of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. Moog, Lord of Blood, from Elden Ring. Begging your pardon. Moog is tough. Moog is a giant pain in the ass. He definitely has some unique tricks that are not available to really anybody else in too many other SoulsBorne games that I've seen. He's powerful. He can close distance pretty quickly, and he can do a lot of damage. So Moog is not one to be messed with for sure. Yeah, and he has that curse thing that he does that can really be a giant pain. I can't think of another word to describe it, another expression to describe it. It's just a giant pain. He's a menace for sure. So, yeah, Moog, Lord of Blood is definitely not a bad choice to land on SoulsBorne Battle to Death. So we're going to take this wheel for another spin. We are going to decide the opponent for Moog, Lord of Blood. I think Moog could do a good job catching some speeding drivers. He's got plenty of tactics that could make that work. Some of these SoulsBorne bosses, I got to worry about them eating some of the speeding drivers, and that's not really what I want. Speeding is a bad thing, and you shouldn't do it, but I don't think it's punishable by death. So, yeah. It's not a good thing. I'm definitely going to have my work cut out for me trying to keep these bosses under control. All right. Moog, Lord of Blood on one end of the battlefield, and on the other end of the battlefield, we have Murgo's Wet Nurse from Bloodborne. Has this fight happened before? I don't believe it has, but I should probably check. Give me 1 second. I am being told that this fight has not occurred before. In fact, Moog, Lord of Blood has only fought one other time on SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. It was on Battle to the Death 90 against the Deathrite Bird. Murgo's Wet Nurse has appeared several times and fought several bosses, obviously, including the Nameless King. But no, this fight has never occurred before, so this fight is good to go. We are going to go to the contractually obligated bio, so let's have a look at Moog, Lord of Blood. Moog, Lord of Blood, is the offspring of Marika the Eternal and Godfrey, first Elden Lord. He's also the twin brother of Morgoth. As a cursed omen, both were confined to the subterranean shunning grounds. But unlike his brother, Moog embraced his omen blood And he made contact with an outer god known as the Formless Mother, and she ignited his accursed blood with blood flame, which granted him powerful magic. After Marika shattered the Elden Ring, Mohg escaped confinement and claimed a great rune, and he established his domain in Mohgwyn Palace. He started recruiting followers such as the Sanguine Nobles and the Bloody Fingers. Miquella the Unalloyed embedded himself in his Haligtree to attempt to shed himself of his affliction, and Mohg took advantage of this in order to abduct him, and he hoped to raise Miquella to godhood so that he could rule at his side as his consort. At some point during or after the abduction, Mohg got enchanted by Miquella somehow. How Miquella did this in a cocoon state is completely beyond me and probably everyone else. Mohg then hibernated with Miquella in the cocoon of the Empyrean and had his followers offer offerings of blood, which I don't know if that's what Miquella ordered, but apparently Mohg thought so. But no matter how many offerings Mohg offered up, Mohg got no response from the young Empyrean. The Round Table Hold were searching for clues to Mohg's whereabouts, but Mohg somehow managed to escape notice, until one day a Tarnished just wandered into Mohgwyn Palace and, once again, as we always do in these games, just screw everything up. We just, walk into these, assorted places and just ruin these people's lives over and over and over again. You, as the Tarnished, finally defeat Mohg and put him to rest, and following his death, his corpse is stolen and transported to the Land of Shadow, where Miquella utilizes it for an ancient ritual at the Gate of Divinity, and Miquella uses Mohg's body as a vessel to revive the soul of Radahn, so that Radahn can be Miquella's consort. That's got to sting Mohg a little bit. Mohg wanted to be the consort. I guess in a way he kind of ends up being the consort, but not really, because it's actually Radahn and not Mohg. Mohg is a tough boss, and his blood flame is very difficult to combat. And he can hit it from all kinds of different angles, and he has a great variety of attacks with it. And I don't know about anybody else, but I've always had trouble with Mohg, fighting him over and over and over again. Especially with his the little curse thing that he does. It's very, very damaging. And obviously in the later stages, as most bosses do in these games, he gets much more aggressive. Mohg is no joke, much like most of the bosses in these games, but Mohg is a special variety, I think. Certainly not one to be taken lightly, and I think Mohg in Battle to Death is there's a lot of bosses that Mohg could give them a lot of trouble. So I think we'll find some interesting fights as we continue to land on Mohg in the continuing stages of SoulsBorne Battles to the Death. So I guess we'll just have to see what kind of fantasy encounters we can generate as we follow along our path here in this little game that we are creating.
Murgo's wet nurse, you'll be shocked to find, is a wet nurse of the infant Murgo, who is the source of the Nightmare of Mensis. There's really not a whole lot of lore on him/her, but she does have 6 skeletal arms and 2 broken wings or whatever, which I guess indicates that he or she is a different race than what they pretend to be. And each one of those 6 skeletal arms eventually has a katana in them. So that just makes this fight even more fun.
This is a damn good fight, I think. Murgo's wet nurse and Mohg, I think, I want to say they're similar in a lot of ways. I don't know. I guess they're kind of not. I guess that analogy is a bad one to start off with. But they're both very tough in their own way. I think Murgo's wet nurse's biggest weakness is a lack of speed, but she makes up for it with being able to duplicate herself. So, two Murgo's wet nurses with, 8 arms and katanas and stuff, that could be a problem. Moog, I think Moog has more tools. I think Moog has a lot more that he can work with in order to deal with this fight. So I think my verdict is that I have to go with Moog, Lord of Blood. I think Moog is the tougher opponent. I think Moog has many more ways that he can deal with Murgo's wet nurse than Murgo's wet nurse has to deal with him. So yeah, I think I gotta go with the idea that Moog, Lord of Blood, would win this fight. But that is just my opinion. Feel free to leave yours in the comments. And with that, yet another edition of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death draws to a close. RobertBlanchardBooks.com. If you're interested in the award-winning Roar of a Dragon series, you can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. If you'd like to hear more about them, the Rise of Dragons podcast, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. My Linktree, my Instagram, my Twitter, all Bobby's Roll 2110. Mondays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Elden Ring No Crimson Flask Run Volume 2, Learning of the Lakes. This past Monday, I fought Royal Knight Loretta. Thought that might turn into a win or bust episode, but wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So, yeah, I dealt with her pretty well, and then I talked to Ronnie, and then, well, I kicked the teetotal shit out of Glintstone Dragon Adula. I did that first, and then I talked to Ronnie. So that's what you can look forward to in that episode. Back in the archives, I have the Dark Souls Remastered No Estus run. I have the Elden Ring No Crimson Flask run, Volume 1, Limgrave. I have the Sekiro No Healing Gourd run. I have the Dark Souls 3 No Estus run, and the Dark Souls 3 No Level Up run. So check those out if you are interested. The Bobby's Rolled Hunger Games, there's plenty of those to check out. Me and my friends in a Hunger Games simulator. Hilarity often ensues. So it's a very popular series on the channel, so go check that out. Your Father's Story videos, me answering questions from a book to my boys about life and things of that nature. It's a vlog style type series, so check that out if you are so inclined. Wednesdays 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is what you're watching right now, SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. So I don't really have to explain that to you now, do I? Saturdays 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is Bobby's Gaming Lounge, which is my weekly live stream where I play games and you guys come in the chat and hang out and we just have a chill old time. So that is what is going on. This past Saturday, however, was not a Bobby's Gaming Lounge. I did the 2-year anniversary of beating Elden Ring in less than 6 hours on New Game Plus, although this time it was New Game Plus 2 on the same playthrough. So that was a good stream. I had a good time and got it done in almost the same amount of time. And I took a detour and fought an optional boss. So you can go check that out if you're interested. That was a good stream. Had a good time with that. So yeah, that is basically everything I've got going on right now. Leave a like, subscribe, notifications, and all that crap. I appreciate the support very, very much. Talk about it all the time. Talk about the growth of the channel, how amazing it's been. Still pushing through, still working my ass off in life and here and everywhere, and basically all I do is work. So, but I love it, so it doesn't matter. That's all that matters, really, is that you enjoy what you're doing. So, and I'm gaining new fans all the time, so that's pretty freaking cool. I love you guys a great deal, and it means a lot to me that so many people are coming along for this ride and seem to enjoy what I do. It's nice to have things I've created go out into the world and be appreciated by people, and it's always a good feeling. So that's all I really have to say about that. Is that thank you and I love you. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Be well, stay safe, and as always, it's Bobby's World, and you're all just living in it. Sales Eve Alive, y'all. Bye.
Hey, boss.
Yes, Courtney.
Mrs. Anderson called. She wanted to order several copies of your books for family and friends.
Oh, that's amazing. Get some ordered, have them sent over to me, and I will sign them for her. I really appreciate it if you could do that for me.
I didn't know you were an author.
You did. Courtney, you've been with me for like 2 years now, and we've talked about it fairly constantly, and there's an ad at the end of every one of these videos.
Well, that doesn't mean that I listen to everything you tell me. Are the books any good?
Well, readersfavorite.com said that its intensity rivals that of the Game of Thrones series. I know, that's pretty crazy, but that's exactly what it says. It's on the Cry of a Raven review. Go check it out.
Well, that's pretty cool. What are the books about?
It's about a soldier who gets exiled for saving a baby dragon, and later he's killed, and he wakes up 3,000 years later with strange powers, and he's watched over by the very same dragon, and the world has been overrun by evil, and he now must travel back in time to stop the evil that started in his own home country.
Wow, that sounds interesting. How can I get copies of the books?
Well, you can go to robertblanchardbooks.com and order your copies there. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. And if you want to hear more about them, you can listen to the Rise of Dragons podcast.
You have a podcast too?
You know what, Courtney? You are doing such an amazing job that I think you are due for a raise. How does that sound?
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Thank you, boss.
You bet. Too bad the raise is going to be when I raise a water balloon over her head and just... Maybe I'll wait until her mom calls. I think she'll find that pretty funny. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com right now and get your copies of the series that got 3 5-star reviews from readersfavorite.com, 3 Author Shout Recommended Reads Awards, and 2 Literary Titan Silver Awards. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free, read more reviews, short stories, and much more. And if you want to hear more about them, you can listen to the Rise of Dragons podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts.